So, good morning, everyone. Uh, yes, there was some kind of technical error, so I had to quit the meeting and then join again. Yes, exactly, Avinash, exactly. So the thing is that today I'll be delivering a technical talk on Ansible. So I highly thank the Department of Computer Science and Engineering for letting me this opportunity to have a technical talk organized on such a short notice. I would also like to thank all the organizers of this technical talk. They are I highly appreciate it, guys. So the thing is that today I'm going to give a technical talk on Ansible, uh, which is the most trending, I would say, the automation tool in IT automation or DevOps, you can say. So before understanding the concepts of Ansible, we have to clear our concept on DevOps. So anyone from this meeting, if anyone is familiar with the term DevOps, you can leave a message in the chat box. You don't have to unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. So if anyone is familiar with the term DevOps, just leave a text. Yes, no, anything will be good. Exactly. Yes. Yes, Varun, I hear you. Okay. So if anyone is finding any kind of difficulty in towards visibility of my screen, or my sound is inaudible, please just let me know. Otherwise, okay. Yes, I have a confirmation now, so I'll proceed. So the thing is that what is DevOps? Basically, uh, DevOps isn't a software. DevOps isn't a tool. DevOps isn't a programming language that we can work upon or build something according to it. So DevOps is not that subset. Okay, DevOps is a strategy, or you can say a concept that has been introduced in the industry 4.0 revolution. So the main concept, or the main purpose behind behind introducing DevOps was that there was a bridge between the major two entities that work in an IT organization. The number one was the development team, and the number two is the uh, IT operations team. So here you can see my in slide the two sides of the coin: the application development team and the IT operations team. So the thing is that the application development team is responsible for developing the product, building the product, writing the clean and responsible code, whereas the IT operations team is more responsible for the stability of the product, so that the product, when it is in the hands of the client, it gives the desired results, or the desired output, or the desired performance as expected by the client. So that is what is taken care of, and that is exactly why there is a sort of clash between the application development team and the IT operations team. So they are constantly in a clash with each other, because the application development team is more into making some changes in the code, and then adding new features, and you know making the changes on a short notice and all that stuff, whereas the you can say the IT operations team are more like responsible for the stability, and they want it to be to work properly, right? So they have to use the test cases, the various test cases, in order to check the performance of the product. So that takes a lot of time. And trust me, guys, in an IT industry, you have time as a barrier, guys. You have time as a barrier. So you have to work efficiently. You have to cash upon your performance. So you have to just work in a certain manner. There are certain protocols that need to be followed, and you have to work in a certain pace. You can't be like one day I'm not feeling like working, or I'm not feeling like writing this code, so it will be delayed, the release will be delayed. That's not how it works, guys. So that is the thing. So here I have noted down the application development team, their roles and what are their responsibilities. So the thing is that according to the client requirement, the product is being planned. The initial stage of this of a development is that they plan the product, they plan how the code will be written and all that stuff. Then they write the code, then they make the changes according to the criteria. Okay, So that is the main roles and responsibilities of the development team. They even test it, they even build it and then test it. So but the majority of the operations are handled by the operations team, like testing the product, then releasing a stable product, and to you know they always prefer stability over new features. They are like, okay, you have this feature, you can add it, but let me be very clear, first I have to check if it is stable or not. They are using the product in the various test case scenarios, so that the product is not no it fits into the criteria, or it works, just basic thing, it works. So it has to be done by the top operations team. So they are more into like stability more than agility. So this is the thing the operations team perform. And you can see there is a fist fight between, or you can say an arm wrestle between the developers and the testers, or you can say the IT operations team, because of their interest, like conflicting interests. So the overall loser is the business, guys. They The business is getting is suffering from the loss, because they are just clashing one after another. They have clashes, like the developer is saying that I have fixed the bugs, but he hasn't released it. So that is the thing, it's going on, it's just blame game going on. So the business is getting affected. So that is how DevOps connect, or you can say that it burns the bridge between them and brings them together. So that is what DevOps does, and it is being achieved by a number of tools which are currently in the market, and which are very popular. So for a sustainable business, and for maintaining the sustainability of a business, and then helping business to grow, they two come together in the DevOps domain. So these are some of the products that falls under the DevOps subset. Like we have Git. It is a distributed version control system, which is being used for maintaining the versions of the code, so that if you make any changes to the code and then it doesn't work, you can roll back to the previous version. I'll be discussing about it in another tech talk, but let me walk you through all those things. Maven used for Java, I'll discuss about it in some time later. You have Jenkins, which definitely performs a very interesting role. It integrates both the phases, or you can say that both the domains, like the development team and the operations team, they are being integrated through a pipeline called Jenkins. It's a very interesting concept. I'll discuss about it in the next tech talk if I get the chance, or if I have the opportunity. So there is Splunk, which is used for reading the log files of a particular server. I'll be explaining these two if I get the time. So our main focus will be on Ansible. So what is Ansible and how it helps to automate. Okay, so yes, so as you can see, Ansible is a configuration management tool enabling the infrastructure as a code. So basically what it means is that Ansible allows us to configure multiple servers at a time. Like we don't have to okay, let me walk you through this through an example. Let's take a scenario. I have a web server, and then I have an database server, and I'm going to make some changes in the web server and the database server. So who do I hire? I hire a system administrator who is capable of making those changes and working in such environment. But what happens when I have a, like you say, thousands of that web servers and then thousands of database servers, and I want to make changes in a large scale, not just a single machine, okay, on a large scale. So that needs to be configured, that needs to be automated. This is what Ansible does, guys. So you can see Ansible is a configuration management tool enabling the infrastructure as a code. That is what it does. It is used in both Linux based operating systems, and as well as you can use it in Windows. So the architecture of the Ansible and all the playbooks, it will all be covered. There is nothing to worry. There is no rush. We can just go with the flow, right? Okay. So it was developed by Michael D. Hahn, the original author of the Ansible, and it has been acquired by the Red Hat. I think so. Red Hat acquired it, and Red Hat has been acquired by IBM. You can see that in July 2019, if I recall. So basically, Ansible is now a product of IBM. So it's a very useful tool, guys. There is some kind of exam, I think, related to Ansible. I'll just leave a link uh, to that exam. You can just give it. Okay, so the next thing is, why do we need Ansible? I have explained it, although I'll explain it now again. So here you can see the system administrator is confused, like what he can do to make changes on a scale. Like if he wants to change the configuration on a scale, on a on a multiple scale, on a, or thousands of server, what he has to do, he has to like use some kind of tools so that he can make those changes, or uh, you can say have a grip upon the system, or something like that. So he can't do it one after another. After configuring the one web server, he can't just move on to the next and perform so on. So that is not practical. That is exactly why he uses Ansible to automate the whole process. And moreover, humans are prone to make mistakes, like just like it is said in the PPT. So that is where Ansible comes into place. So basically, there are two components which you have to keep in mind while going through Ansible. There is a playbook Ansible, which contains the code and the configuration instructions that are meant to be implemented on the nodes, or you can say the slaves. There is not a slave master like system in Ansible, although it is technically not like that, but I'll explain it. Just wait. So for the moment, you just keep in mind that there are two terms which are very important, very necessary while uh, understanding the concepts of Ansible. Those are playbook and then inventory. The inventory contains the information of the, wait a second, guys. So the inventory, where do I move? Okay, here. So you can see the inventory contains the information of the nodes, the host names, and the IP addresses, which are connected to the local machine. Okay, I'll explain the architecture. So there, the nodes that are nodes, it will all be cleared upon. You don't have to worry about all those things. So it also stores the previous state details, just like in Git. It also saves the checkpoint, you can say the checkpoint from where the new changes have been applied, so that it can roll back to the previous state. So that is very handy. uh, so here you can see the Ansible architecture. So here the module, you can see here is the local machine, which is connected to the different nodes, which you can term as slaves, or something like that. So it excuse me, guys. Ansible, Ansible is the principle on which the Ansible works is that push configuration. I think yes, push configuration. It is push configuration. So what it does is that the local machine contains the module where we can store the playbooks and all the codes we can write in the playbooks, and then the inventory where the IP addresses and the host names of all the nodes are being saved. Basically, it saves the information about the nodes. And then when we push the changes, we push it through the SSH. Okay, there is an SSH connection between all the nodes, so you can push it through the local machine. That is exactly why it is called the push configuration, because we're writing the code or any kind of changes that you want to bring. We are writing it down in the local machine, we're applying it in the local machine, then the nodes are automatically getting reflected. Okay, then the changes in the nodes are automatically getting reflected. That is what is happening. Okay, so there are thousands and 10,000s of nodes there. So just with some changes in the playbook, we can apply those changes in the nodes. So that is very handy. So we can use them. So the playbooks are basically contains the YML scripts. The playbooks contains the YML scripts, where we can write whatever the configuration changes we want. Suppose we want to install a tool, or we want to install a dependency which is required by the web server, or you can say the database server, the MySQL server. So that we can mention in the playbooks, and it will be, automatically get reflected. Those dependencies will get installed in the nodes. So that is the thing. So uh, I have to move myself again. So I am going to give an overview of YML also. So YML is just like JSON, guys. YML is not a markup language. In fact, the full form of YML is also stating that, you know what YML stands for. It says it's ain't a markup language. So YML is basically not a markup language. It is a data serialization language designed to be quickly writable and human readable. It is super easy to write YML scripts. It is just like you have to go through the indentations, and you can see that, like just like Python, I can say, but not completely like Python, but you can find some similarities. So it is used in writing the playbooks uh, while you are configuring thousands and thousands of web servers or database servers. So YML is a very powerful language, guys, and the main application of YML, I can say, is in Ansible, as far I know. Okay, so here you can see it is a test YML script. I have written it. It is very simple. You can see the entity is the car, where which contains the attributes like model, company, and then mileage, and then sedan, and then variant. Okay, the model attribute has a value of Varna. You can see the company is Hyundai, and the mileage has a value attached to it. So the sedan is it is basically if the car mode is sedan or a hatchback, so it is true. Then the variant, so variant contains, and you can say, a list or an array, a collection of elements. So that is what it is, guys. It is very simple, and you can access each and every attribute by using the dot operator. uh, I can use the model attribute of the car using the dot operator. Similarly, I can use the component variant, and so on. So it is very easy to write the Ansible, YML scripts. It can be saved as YAML or YML. Both are correct. So this is the way of doing such things. So give you an example. Suppose this is not the correct way of showing. I plan to have an Ansible like a practical session if I get the chance of delivering a tech talk again next week, or maybe 2 weeks after that. So I will install the virtual machine VM, and then walk you through this. So this will be a proper I think a practical session, because you won't understand anything if I uh, just share the code snippets. But anyway, let's carry on. So you have the installation entity, and then you have attributes like package manager, like the Red Hat, or you can see the RPM package manager is Yum, whereas the package manager uses Yum as the command, whereas the Debian package manager uses apt. You can see apt sudo yum install some softwares, and then sudo apt install something. So this is the thing. The command which we are doing is install, and the programs, they can be anything. Like we can install httpd, which is the which is the Apache server, Snapd, which is a very powerful marketplace for downloading softwares in Linux, the NetTools, then Firewall. So anything we can install. This is the basic. I am giving you a basic example how these things are written. Not exactly like this, but I'll show you in the practical session. Okay. So thank you, guys. That was my time. And if you have any queries, you can write me down. I have shared my mail ID. I am on LinkedIn, and then you can check this channel for more details. Okay. So yeah, I'll be taking questions from now. So I'll stop the recording session right now. Just wait, guys.